Hi, welcome to the Spring 2011 Handel Webcast. I'm your host, Tracy Rosenland. Starting out today, we are going to meet Joe Nevshemal, Handel's Vice President of Business Development, who will talk to us about the new RiteTrack Tribal Enrollment Solution.
Welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
We're going to talk a little bit about the new tribal enrollment system.
Wonderful.
What are some of the things that keeps you excited about this new system that keep you up at night?
One of the great things about this system, and there's a lot of them, but the one I want to focus on now is address verification. That you can actually know for sure that this address exists and it's a correct address, and that whatever you send to that address will get there.
All right.
That saves a lot of tribes, organizations, nonprofits a lot of money, because you know that it's going to get there. And that 50 cents, I mean, geez, postage, was it 90 cents now? I don't know. Is really expensive. And so by saving that, it actually helps your bottom line.
Right. Something else I've seen that I'm really excited about is the new family ancestry tree.
Yeah, if the family ancestry tree is really great because it actually satisfies a lot of different needs. Some tribes do it from a matriarchal standpoint, where if you or your mother was in the tribe, then you get to be in the tribe. But this one manages all of it, both your mother and father. And the greatest thing is that you don't need to worry about grandmother, grandfather, maternal side, paternal side. You just assign the mother and father, and the solution just builds out your family tree from there. So as long as you just do that, everything else calculates out perfectly.
Great. And this is actually, there's a graphical interface for this now using Silverlight, I guess.
Yeah, and you can print it out actually as a report and stick it on your wall or however you want to do it. So it's very robust, and the neatest thing about the interface is you get all the information about your whole family right there. So you see a small picture, you can hover on it and hover over the section and get more detail. It's just really easy to use, but really powerful. We try to walk that fine line.
Cool. What prompted Handel to develop this new enrollment system?
Well, there's a need. There's a really good big need out there for this to be able to maintain your data, and there's two main reasons for that. Besides just maintaining your data, one is your members are extremely important, and they're the center of everything that you do. So why not have a solution where your members are the center, and then you can build onto it when your needs come up? One of the best things about it is that since your people are at the center of the solution, you also are able to keep duplicative data down and not have to deal with any of those issues. So you don't have 3 or 4 departments holding data for you, and some having good addresses, some having bad.
Right. And one thing you touched upon is the ability to expand then, so the enrollment system kind of becomes your hub, and then you can build out all the service delivery systems, spokes, something we're going to actually be talking about with the Mohegan Tribe later in this program. And so how does it become easier to add on additional spokes in the system with this new enrollment platform?
Yes, that's the whole reason. One of the reasons, there's many, is that you're able to add on to the system very easily for much less cost than you would have to do to buy a whole new software program.
Right.
Some people say, oh, RiteTrack, it's a great system, but it's a little bit more expensive. But when you really look at the whole big picture, it's way, way more cost effective than any other software solution you buy out there.
Right.
Because you buy it once and then expand, instead of buying and having a capital expense 6 or 7 times per department.
Right.
A RiteTrack solution implemented can save your department, or say your whole organization, 7 or 8 times what you would have originally spent.
Right. Later in this program today, we're also talking to Michael Stevens, our Director of Product Development, about the RiteTrack 5 platform. And, but from your perspective, what does the new RiteTrack 5 platform, what benefits does it offer that we didn't have before?
We throw around the idea of a Lego system, and what this RiteTrack 5 solution actually does is it makes that a reality. It allows you to pick and choose the modules that you want, or the modulettes and the pieces that you want to customize, and they plug in together in a more seamless fashion. And that seamless fashion is really evident when you do upgrades, or if you want to change just one module, because you can pull that out and put in the new one. And since we're able to map the inputs and outputs from that module, you don't affect the rest of your system. Your system works perfectly fine with that module, with a new one, with an old one. And so that's one of the greatest things, is that you can actually take pieces out and put them in, while in the past you'd have to glue everything together.
And so if I understand correctly, that holds then even true within the module. So if, let's say I really like the enrollment system, but my tribe uses base roll as opposed to blood quantum, can I take out smaller pieces of that?
Yeah, you certainly can, and you can break it out all the way down to fields if you want to. You know, when we say modules, they're actually smaller modules within modules. You know, and it's kind of like looking in a mirror when you're holding a mirror; it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. But that is the best thing about it, is that you can take out even the smallest pieces and interchange them. And since we've mapped how they work together, it is seamless, and your downtime is minutes for an update instead of hours or days.
So again, to use the Lego analogy, if I think of the enrollment system as sort of a box of Lego pieces, I can still take individual pieces out if I don't need them.
Yep, you can change colors, you can do whatever you need for that, yeah.
Great. All right, well, it sounds really excited. We're going to be probably starting to showcase the new enrollment system here later this summer. And Joe, thanks for coming in and talking to us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Joe. In today's Customer Spotlight, we are going to meet George Wood and Chuck Scharnagle from the Mohegan Tribe. The Mohegan Tribe has been using RiteTrack since 2009, and they are constantly expanding RiteTrack into new areas of their tribal government.
Tell me, what has been the biggest benefit of implementing RiteTrack?
I think the biggest benefit for the Mohegan Tribe thus far is just the improvement in the quality of data. We now know and we have good demographic information on all of our tribal members. This is something that we've been struggling with over the past 10 to 12 years, to have one central database to provide all of this information to all of our departments. Now, if any department has a question, they know they can reach out to one spot and get that information, and it's accurate.
Great. Can you talk a little bit about working with Handel? What is it like working with a company that's so far away from you?
You know, the distance between us and Handel is really irrelevant to us, and that's a testament to Handel as well as my team. They've been able to work together very well over the phone, and what we've seen, especially in the last, I'd say 3 to 6 months, is the fact that we've worked together for a while. Handel is getting to understand us much better, and they're almost anticipating what we're looking for. And again, talking to my team, they feel much more comfortable, and all of this results in a greater productivity and lower costs, which obviously everybody in my position wants.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say?
You know, I think it was great that the two companies found each other when we did. Over the course of the past couple of years, you know, there's been some fits and starts, as there is in any relationship. But where we are today is a testament, I believe, to both organizations, and I am very happy with where we are and where we're going.
Basically, George, can you just talk a little bit about your experience implementing RiteTrack?
Sure. I think that we've had a very good experience implementing RiteTrack. We had our misgivings in the beginning because we had made several attempts at creating our demographics database. We had several other products that we had tried and failed with. We had built a homegrown product, and that had some minor success, but we weren't able to quite get there. When we finally found Handel and the RiteTrack platform, started moving forward with that, we had immediate success with our demographics module, and we were able to get up and running probably within the 6-month time frame to have a product actually to put in front of the end users. And that was due both to us getting together, getting requirements put together, and working with Handel's team, and that's from scratch. So,
great. What has the experience been now with the end users after you've gone live and started using the product?
The end users had some qualms at first, because it's always change for the end users, and the end users are always afraid of change. But now that we've had it up and running, they're very impressed with the system and the output that we can produce at this point. They realize that the data quality is much better because we have one version of the truth. Everything's going into one system, and because of that, the output is reaching way beyond what they thought it could do. We're getting requests all the time now to create new reports because they didn't realize that we could get data out of a system the way that we can now out of the RiteTrack system.
Great. Any other information you want to share?
No, I just think that Handel has been a pleasure to work with. They actually have become a partner of the business rather than just a vendor, and that's really important for us. Without that partnership and having both teams pulling in the same direction, I don't think we could have had the success that we're having now.
Our last segment today will be an interview with Michael Stevens, Director of Product Development. Michael will talk to us about the upcoming RiteTrack 5 release and what changes the Handel developer team has in store for us.
All right, with us today is Michael Stevens, who is Director of Product Development here at Handel IT. And today we're going to talk about something really exciting.
RiteTrack 5.
RiteTrack 5. So, tell me, what are you most excited about in the upcoming release of RiteTrack 5?
I've been giving that a lot of thought, and there's just so many different functions. But it's got simplified navigation. You can link directly into our application. The reporting solution is really, really good. We have new tower controls, so we've got data grids that look like Excel. We've got charting, we've got about 1.5 million features that we've always wanted and finally have had time to do in RiteTrack 5.
Great. Linking. Tell me a little bit about deep linking and what that's going to mean for our customers.
That's deep linking's been all the rage on the news forums and stuff, and basically what it allows you to do is just tunnel right into our application with a URL. A lot of applications, you have to launch it and you have to go find what you're doing. Our application works more like a website. Everything has a URL. So if you're trying to go to, a certain person, they'll have an ID and they'll have a specific URL, and you can just link right in. So from an email, you can link right in. I am somebody a link, and they can, click on it and they can go right into where I'm looking at.
Great. So, for example, if I was a supervisor, I could send a case out to a caseworker and say, "Hey, check out this case," through their email, and it'll get them right in.
Exactly. And and all the same security applies. So if I can't see it and you can see it, if I send you that link, it's not going to matter. It's going to say, "Well, I'm sorry, you can't see this record."
So we preserve all the security.
Definitely.
Fantastic. What do you think is probably one of the biggest things that sets RiteTrack 5 apart from its previous versions?
RiteTrack 5, all the previous versions were really, really built around delivering custom solutions in the fastest amount possible, fastest time possible. RiteTrack 5 was built for a different purpose. It was built around building standard modules that you can slowly expand and grow with your organization. And so that is, that's one of the key fundamental differences. Is RiteTrack 5 is more out of the box, and then you add your own features to it. Whereas RiteTrack 4, 3, and XP were more, what do you want us to build for you today?
Great. You guys, during development, I've often referred to this as Lego. It's kind of like Lego pieces that you can reassemble however you want.
Yes. And actually we've always kind of done Lego. We're software designers. We always try to put things in little boxes. But it's kind of like if you look at Lego sculptures. If you just go out and Google Lego sculptures, you'll see these beautiful sculptures. But to get most of them to work, they glue them together, which a lot of people argue about. But they're really, really beautiful, and you can see there's little tiny bricks in them. But you can't pull that brick out, or else the whole thing's going to crumble. Whereas RiteTrack 5 is like, what if we gave you the Lego box and then gave you instructions on how to build your own system? And so what it does is it puts all those features in, but it makes sure that you can build stuff without having to glue things together. So if you want to take it all apart and build something else, you can do that too.
So let's say one of those pieces is, say, a social security number validation.
Yes.
But if that validation doesn't fit your rules, you could just pull that piece out and make your own Lego piece, essentially?
Exactly. Yep. You can have what you want, you can leave the rest, and then as you expand, you can build your own new modules that accentuate our modules, or add completely new features without affecting stuff that already works out of the box.
Great. One of the last questions I'm going to ask you, because I know you're busy working on getting RiteTrack 5 out, but one of the other differences in RiteTrack 5 is you've moved all the development into Microsoft Visual Studio. What were some of the reasons for doing that?
We've always had really, really great platforms and great user experiences, but our developer experience has always been lacking because, we always try to build more for our customers than we do for ourselves. And Microsoft caught up to us in what we were trying to do in our tools and basically gave us everything in Silverlight and Visual Studio for free. So everything that we were doing before, Microsoft has already offered us in Visual Studio in just a little bit of a different fashion. So we finally decided, you know what? Let's let Microsoft do their game, let them build their amazing tools, and we'll keep building you amazing solutions.
Fantastic. Well, we can't wait to show RiteTrack 5 to the world. So I know you and your team have been very, very busy here in the last year. So we're excited to see some great things later this year, right?
Yep, definitely.
All right. Well, thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for watching our Spring 2011 webcast. A lot of other things are currently going on here at Handel. Make sure to visit our website at www.handelit.com to check out the latest news, events, and blogs from Handel. On our website, you can also register for our upcoming webinars and connect with us on social media. Thank you for tuning again, and I am Tracy Rosenlund signing off.